What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the hardest hitter in each weight class versus the weakest chin in each weight class. We're going to be matchmaking fights that are just going to end in a brutal KO is what we're going to try and do. So yeah, let's get into the video. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'll start at flyweight, go all the way up to heavyweight. You guys let me know in the comments. I'm sure I've missed your favorite number 27 ranked middleweight contender. Like, I don't know, fucking you guys are going to let me know in the comments. Be like, how could you forget this man, dude? Casual man. So I'm going to get those comments, but that's all good. You guys let me know. Anyway, let's get started, and we'll start off with the flyweight division. Pretty clearly, the weakest chin at flyweight is Matt Schnell. This dude gets KO'd by a gust of wind. I just saw that clip resurface of him fighting whatever his name was when he got KO'd by literally the weakest ground and pound ever. Like, no wind up, just tapping shots, and he got fucking KO'd. Like, I don't know what's up with this dude's chin. Got KO'd by Nicolau, got flatline KO'd by Urseg, got finished by strikes by Pantoja. Everyone's KOing this dude. If you ain't KOing Matt Schnell, you're officially pillow-handed. I kind of wanted to make Mikhail versus Matt Schnell a fight in the UFC. Just to see just how fucking glass-jawed this man is. But let me look at this guy's record. So, he's about to get KO'd by Alessandro Costa as well. He actually didn't fight last year at all. He got KO'd by Nicolau. He got subbed by Royval. I think he got dropped in that fight, I'm pretty sure. He didn't fight in 2021. He's been very inactive. What the fuck? He got KO'd by Pantoja. Back in the day, he wasn't getting KO'd as much. There's still that fight where he got finished with ground and pound. Hector Sandoval, I think that's the guy that literally finished him with the weakest ground and pound imaginable. And then he obviously lost on tough to Rob Font by TKO. So yeah, this dude at flyweight is consistently getting chinned, so that's pretty tough. But in terms of the hardest hitter at flyweight, since Figgy left, I think the hardest hitter now at 125 is Kai Kara-France. We saw him just KO Steve Urseg, unfortunately. It was very, very sad to see. But there's no doubting that Kai Kara-France is an extremely powerful puncher in that flyweight division. And KOing Urseg is a very impressive thing, or finishing Urseg with strikes, because before that, you know, he KO'd Cody Garbrandt, which no one was really going to look at that and be like, damn, bro, Kai Kara-France is just this savage power puncher. But, like, he does go to a lot of decisions in his fights, but when this dude unloads punches, like, he KO'd Rogerio Bontorin, you know, he KO'd who else? I'm not sure. He doesn't really KO many other people, to be honest. But I do still think he's the hardest hitter at flyweight right now. Because, like, Moreno, Royval, Elbazi, Tyra, these guys don't hit that hard. Cap, I guess. But even Cap, who the fuck is Cap KOing? Like, Manel Cap KO'd fucking, what's his name? Like, O'Day Osborne, and that's it. Like, Manel Cap? Let me look at Manel Cap. I like Manel Cap, he's based, but I think the aura around Cap is starting to fall off because I think people are realizing this dude really ain't finishing that many guys in the UFC. Like, who's he finished? KO Giagas, Zhumagulov, and O'Day Osborne. I know he did finish Kai Sakura back in 2019 at Ryzen, but since then, lost to Nicolau, which in hindsight's a terrible look, even though it was kind of a robber. His close fight with Nicolau's an awful look, and then just really did nothing against Mikhail. I don't think Cap's all that, to be honest, but I think Kai Kara-France, when he actually unloads shots and lets his hands go, he's, I think, the hardest hitter in the flyweight division. But let's move on to Bantamweight. So, moving on to Bantamweight, there's only one man for the weakest chin category, and it's Cody No Chin Garbrandt. This dude getting KO'd by fucking everyone under the sun. Surprisingly, Figgy didn't actually KO him, he subbed him, which is honestly a worse look for Garbrandt, because, like, if you just get chinned, we'll all be like, oh yeah, that's Cody Garbrandt, he's got no chin, whatever. But Cody Garbrandt's getting fucking KO'd by everyone. Everyone's KO'ing this dude. Pedro Munoz KO'd this dude. Like, Cody Garbrandt, let me look it up again. Jamie, pull that up. Cody Garbrandt, like, he's 33 years of age, and he's just getting finished way too much. 4 KO losses on the record, got finished by Kai Kara-France, finished by Munoz, finished by Dillashaw twice, and then obviously lost the decision to Font. This dude's getting dropped by gusts of wind, I swear to God. I mean, like, Kai did land some big shots on him, but, like, Munoz, the Dillashaw, like, he's not like he's just getting KO'd by nothing, but still, like, it's not quite as bad as Matt Schnell, but I think we can definitely classify Cody Garbrandt as pillow-chinned. Oh, I was going to say pillow-handed. No, he's he needs someone to fight with pillow hands because he's fucking glass-jawed. That's what we can classify Garbrandt as. This dude got a fucking eye tattoo. I don't know what he's doing. That's just off the side randomly. He's fighting Miles Johns next. Johns is just a big jacked steroid fucking midget, budget John Lineker. So he might get KO'd by Miles Johns. If he does, then yeah, that's a terrible look. But let's move on let's talk about now the hardest hitter at Bantamweight. My opinion, Sean O'Malley, the cuck man himself, I believe he's the hardest hitter at Bantamweight. Now look, it's like a combination of speed, precision beats power, and timing beats speed. Sean O'Malley, he's got the precision, he's got power, he's got timing, he's got speed. And I think that, because he's like just pure punching power, like his raw power isn't as much. Like I think a Song Yadong would have more pure punching power. But I think the combination of the speed, the accuracy, all of that, yeah, if this dude fought Cody Garbrandt, he's KOing him inside a minute. That just would happen. You know when these two were kind of beefing a little bit back in the day at the 269 press conference, how they fucking tried to have a face-off and started yapping at each other, and then we went on to see fucking Cody Garbrandt get KO'd in the first round? Like, yeah, I think the debate around who would have won that fight, well and truly settled. But yeah, Cody Garbrandt versus Sean O'Malley would be, in my opinion, the biggest or the best recipe for a KO, and a flatline KO at that, in the Bantamweight division. But let's move on to the Featherweight division. Edson Barboza, in my opinion, look, it's not definitive. Like, I don't think Barboza has a terrible chin, but just in comparison to the other guys at Featherweight, and also the stage that I think this guy's at in his career, if this dude comes back and he fights like a fucking Gene Silver type guy, he's getting fucking slept in the first round. So it's not like he's just getting flatline KO'd all over the place. But as I looked through the Featherweight rankings, I just couldn't find someone who was like super chinny. Like, you look through guys, you got Holloway, Volkanovski, Ortega, Yair, Movzar, Allen, like Emmett. None of these guys are that chinny. Aljo, I guess, a little bit chinny. Like Diego Lopez has a solid chin. Mitchell, I mean, he got KO'd by Emmett, got dropped by Ilya, but like those are the two hardest hitters at Featherweight. So yeah, it's a difficult one, because Barboza, I don't think he's got an awful chin, but he gets beaten up a lot. And if I'm thinking about like a recipe for a fucking KO, it's not just a combination of like him having a not amazing chin. It's also his boxing defense, and how much he gets hit is crazy. And he's getting hit a bunch by like Sadiq Youssef, Lerone Murphy, like these guys, very mediocre power punchers in the Featherweight division. So if you put this guy up with like a Josh Emmett, a Gene Silver, and Ilia Topuria, one of these guys, he's gonna get fucking flatlined. So I've chosen Ilia Topuria, Ilio Topuria, for Topuria as well, for a little retard Artem Lobov. But I've chosen Ilia Topuria because I think in terms of pure punching power, I think Josh Emmett's the guy. But similar to what I said with O'Malley, if you're looking at like a combination of like precision, power, actual technique as well, not just Josh Emmett who's on the big meaty hooks, as Lucas Tracy would say, then I think you got to go with Ilya as the hardest puncher at Featherweight. Like Josh Emmett, anytime he fights someone good, he doesn't KO them. At least Ilya's actually KO'd Volk, like in terms of him being able to KO a good level opponent, compared to Josh Emmett, who, like, he's rocked Yair Rodriguez, I guess. Like, he's done okay against some decent level guys, but anyone actually really good, he doesn't really KO. And yeah, like, he's been KO'd himself as well, and he's lost his fair share of decisions where he just gets outclassed. So yeah, Josh Emmett, I think, very powerful puncher, pure power puncher, he's definitely up there. But in terms of like overall and who would be the most likely to score just a vicious KO on Edson Barboza, would probably be Ilia Topuria. Let's move on though to the next fighter, or the next weight class. Lightweight, it's a similar scenario. I think Beneil Dariush, after his last two fights, is cooked, and I think if he comes back against anyone, he's going to get fucking KO'd. Now, lightweight has a lot of power punches, so I'll reveal the guy that I've chosen in a second. But like guys like Oliveira hits pretty hard. He's already fought him though. Arman, he's fought him already. Poirier, Gaethje, Dariush. I'm talking about Dariush, what am I saying? Like Poirier, Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, a lot of the BSD, I guess, Jalen Turner. Like there's some guys, even like Joel Alvarez is a good selection too. There's a lot of guys who hit pretty hard at lightweight, and I think a lot of them, like even Faziv's got some good speed. So I think there's a lot of guys at lightweight which would KO, or who would KO Beneil Dariush right now, just because, not because Beneil's bad, but like He beat Gamrot. I think Gamrot was like the perfect stylistic matchup for him, given like Gamrot's not really fucking hurting anyone. Gamrot's not KOing fucking no one. So that was a good matchup for him to just be able to be more technical. And Beneil Dariush, when he can be technical and do his crafty vet fucking stuff and mix in the takedowns and do some weird goofy striking, he does okay. But like, we're talking about a guy who was on the ropes against fucking Drakkar Klose. Like, Beneil, and he's been KO'd before by other guys. Barboza slept him, obviously. So I don't think Beneil's got like a glass chin. He's not like a guy that throughout his career has just consistently been getting chinned. But yeah, I just think if you're matching up with anyone with power at lightweight, he's going to get slept. So I've gone with, now this is the debate. I might put up a poll for this because Poirier, Chandler, Gaethje, even Oliveira, but I just didn't want to do Oliveira or Arman because I already fought them. So I've gone with Justin Gaethje. Now you guys can disagree. You can call it casual, man. How Justin Gaethje's not even a power puncher, man. Like, I get it. Gaethje hasn't really been sleeping guys in his recent fights. Like, apart from dropping Chandler in their recent fight, and I mean he dropped Oliveira a couple times. But like, he's not just sleeping guys. But back in the day when this guy actually just threw everything into his shots and just went for it and just fucking swung the big meaty hooks, he was just sleeping fuckheads. And I think if he fought Dariush, unless he got fucking taken down and subbed somehow on the ground, which would be quite embarrassing for Justin Gaethje, then I think Beneil would definitely get KO'd by him. Poirier is a good selection because I do think Poirier has better precision and I think he's got better technical boxing. But Dustin's also not like the crazy one-shot guy, in my opinion. Now, you could say the same thing about Gaethje. I think a lot of guys at lightweight aren't really one-shot KO guys. Like, a lot of them are like just clean boxes, put together combinations. Well, like Poirier, apart from like BSD, he got a perfect counter shot. But like, he's not just sleep. Even Poirier is not really sleeping guys. Like, the Conor KO was like 20 million fucking punches. Like, a lot of the time, even Gaethje, when he beat him in the first fight, was like a massive combination. So Poirier is like a cumulative damage type of guy where he'll just beat the fuck out of you until you just kind of drop and you're taking too many punches. But in my opinion, like, I guess even Chandler might be but Chandler's just too retarded, so I wouldn't even trust, knowing Chandler, he'd try and fucking engage in a grappling match with Dariush and get subbed with a heel hook. Like, I don't know. Dariush doesn't, I think at this point, if he comes back and fights, like, the winner of, like, BSD versus Moicano, might like, if he fights BSD, I think he gets fucking chinned. If this guy fights like Joel Alvarez, even like a Ludovic Klein, I think he probably gets fucking chinned, to be honest. So yeah, I do think Beneil Dariush is definitely cooked, and I think Gaethje is probably the biggest power puncher at lightweight in terms of like just brute power. I think Gaethje. There's an argument for Chandler, argument for Poirier. Definitely, I don't hate those takes, but that's who I've gone with. Anyway, let's move on to the welterweight division. Welterweight, similar case to Beneil Dariush. I think Luque is completely cooked, and I think if he comes back against anyone with power, he's going to get fucking slept. This dude, like, cannot take punishment. We saw it against Buckley. After that Luque KO loss, he's just cooked. So I think if this guy fights anyone with power, he's getting slept. JDM, Jeff Neal, who else? A lot of these guys, like Shavkat's got some solid power. Carlos Prates, MVP. All these guys have the potential to just sleep Luque if he comes back. Hopefully, for Luque's sake, he gets an easier fight. But I don't think he will. I think unless they do the Diaz one and just rebook that, I think he's gonna cop a tough draw and he's gonna get fucking slept. And I've gone with Prates. I think Carlos Prates is the hardest puncher right now, or the hardest hitter at welterweight. Because JDM, like, it took a flush knee to the fucking face as Burns shot in for a takedown to rock him, where he then followed up with a ground and pound. Apart from, like, badly dropping Randy Brown and then subbing him, he doesn't really just flatline guys. Like, Pete Rodriguez, Ramazan Ameev with body shots, Danny Roberts with kind of body shots. Like, he's not just sleeping guys. Basil Lafez decision, Holland decision. I'm not saying JDM's bad. I think he's a very good striker, extremely good striker. But I don't think his pure power is, like, just incredible. Like, Leon's not a power puncher. Colby, no. Burns, no. Brady, no. Welterweight has a lot of grappling heavy guys, and that's why I think Prates is the hardest hitter at 170 right now. And I think in terms of the the precision as well, because Luke's very open. His defense ain't all that. Like, he kind of just got away with having a good chin back in the day. I think Prates fucking KOs this dude in a round. But let's move on to the middleweight division. Paul Craig, middleweight. I think he's got the worst chin at middleweight by a fair margin. Middleweight's got some solid chin guys. Like, I was going to say, like, Whittaker, but Whittaker's not that chinny. He kind of just gets weirdly caught at times. Like, Cannonier gets rocked, but never really gets finished by strikes. So a lot of guys at middleweight, like, I was going to say maybe Brendan Allen, just because getting KO'd by Strickland's a terrible look, but that was a while ago. So I've gone with Paul Craig as the weakest chin at middleweight. This dude got slept by Baralio, who is not the biggest power puncher. He's never been a massive power puncher. This guy gets slept by, like, got finished by Johnny Walker, got finished by... Fucking, who else did he get finished by? Why am I going brain dead? He's been KO'd before. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes Paul Craig just looks shit and just gets KO'd. But then sometimes he KOs fucking Uncle Live. So it is what it is. And beats Jamal Hill. So yeah, Paul Craig, though, I do think he's got a terrible chin pretty clearly. But the power puncher to go with to deliver a KO loss for Paul Craig, there's some guys like Dricus is pretty solid power. Izzy, I guess, with the precision, but I don't think Izzy's power is all that. So I've actually gone with Joe Pyfer. Joe Salty Man Pyfer. Now, this is definitely not because he threatened me and told me that he would come to my house and punch me if I didn't put him for the hardest hitter at middleweight, because he claims he's the hardest hitter in the UFC right now. And, you know, the Salty Man Pyfer, he messaged me on Instagram. He's like, yo, Left Lane, bro, I'm going to have to deliver my hardest hitting in the UFC power box score onto your chin if you don't fucking put me number one for middleweight. So I was like, all right, got it, man. Go finish your shift at the salt mines. Chill out. I'll make sure to put you in the video. So Joe Pyfer got his spot in the video. Congratulations. Michelle Pereira's another good spot, or another good shout as well. He's got some good power. But a lot of guys at middleweight are not, like, again, like, just super powerful. Joe Pyfer, though, is a guy who is flatlining people, so fair play. Definitely a power puncher at middleweight. Definitely would KO Paul Craig. I think he called him out after he beat Marc-Andre Barrios as well, which was just very interesting selection. He knows that he wants to get a free fucking KO there. But let's move on to the light heavyweight division. Light heavyweight, this just feels mean. Johnny Walker is definitely the weakest chin at light heavyweight. Anthony Smith doesn't have a great chin either. There's some other guys that don't have a very good chin, but Johnny Walker is the only guy who's just consistently getting highlight reel KO'd at light heavyweight. Ozdemir, fucking Jamal Hill, who else? Why do I just keep forgetting all these guys' KO losses? Ozdemir, Jamal Hill, Ankalaev, like, this dude just gets KO'd often, and it's quite amusing to watch. Reyes is not a bad shout, to be fair. Dominic Reyes is not a bad shout. But Reyes, like, got spinning elbow KO'd by Yuri, so I'll give him a pass for that. And that was after the Blachowicz KO. And yeah, like, Blachowicz real power. Like, Johnny Walker's fighting a bit lower level guys, in my opinion. Like, Jamal Hill and Volkan Ozdemir are just a little bit lower level than, like, Blachowicz and Yuri. I guess the Span one was a terrible look, but that was just whatever. But yeah, Johnny Walker, worst chin at light heavyweight, and obviously Alex Portan Pereira, Mr. Shermer, he is definitely the hardest hitter at light heavyweight, so he would definitely KO Johnny Walker in a brutal Looney Tunes fashion. The left hook, you already know it, would go crazy here. Let's move on, though, to the heavyweight division. For heavyweight, I could have just picked someone ranked, and for most of these divisions, I have been trying to pick, like, a ranked fighter or a higher, like, as high of a fighter that I could think of that has a terrible chin. But for heavyweight, I don't care. Austin Lane, you suck. This guy has such a terrible chin. This is the reason why you don't pick former NFL players to win UFC fights, because their representative is fucking Austin Lane. KO'd by Justin Tafa, KO'd by Janata Deniz. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Dude just is not good at all in any way. Now, heavyweight, there's some guys that have a bit of a weaker chin, but I think pretty clearly Janata Deniz has a terrible chin. So I'm going to put him as the selection, and I'm going to put Tommy Aspinall as the selection to deliver a vicious KO here, because I do think he's the hardest hitter at heavyweight, combined power, speed, all that. So I think Tom Aspinall would definitely KO him inside probably 30 seconds. But this is probably the fight we're going to get in like 2 years from now once Tom Aspinall's already defended the belt against like the entire division. But this is the video done, guys. Quick one-ish. It's never a quick one here. I always yap for longer than I need to. But let me know in the comments, did I mess up these selections? Did I forget anyone with the bad chin or with the great power? Let me know. What other videos do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments as well. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace out.